Hey guys, welcome back to my channel IFYStudio. Today we are diving into a topic that's been on the mind of many AWS users. Now, we all know that how frequently we turn to AWS Lambda functions for serverless computing, right? And when it comes to storing data, our go-to choice has often been Amazon S3. Yeah, we have to admit it. But what if I told you that there is another storage option that can add a new dimension to a Lambda function? That's right. So in today's video, we'll be discussing how to attach the Amazon Elastic File System or EFS with AWS Lambda function. So by the end of this video, you'll have clear understanding of the available storage options, which one to go with, and a hands-on on EFS storage with Lambda function. And you will know how to leverage the power of EFS for your serverless application. So if you're ready to expand your AWS toolkit and discover new storage options for Lambda functions, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for the full tutorial. Now, when we talk about storage, so Lambda has prominently three storage options now. I'm talking about file systems. If we talk about journal storages, there are plenty of other options such as DynamoDB, RDS, Elasticsearch, or any kind of API service that you can integrate with Lambda and use it as a temp storage or a database service. But if we talk about file systems in general, these are the options which is prominently used along with Lambda. The first one is the ephemeral storage. Now, ephemeral storage is nothing but each Lambda function have a limited amount of temporary storage, which is also known as ephemeral storage, and this is denoted by /tmp. Now, /tmp is an entry point to this ephemeral storage, but the only caveat with this kind of storage is that it only persists until the Lambda is executing. So once the Lambda execution is done, this storage is like deleted. Our second alternative is S3. Now S3 is the most common choice if someone wants to someone is just exploring the Lambda function or just getting into the cloud. Now S3 is just Lambda function can interact with Amazon S3 buckets to store, retrieve, or manipulate object files in S3 using S3 APIs, Boto3 client, or other ways. If so I'm talking about Python. There could be many other ways if you are dealing with with other toolkits or SDKs. Lastly, it's EFS or Elastic File System. Now EFS is a shared network attached file storage service, so that means that it is not only limited to Lambda. You can attach EFS with EC2 instances, on-prem servers, wherever you want to. So EFS is a network hosted service that can be mounted on multiple Lambda functions. So multiple Lambda functions can share same EFS storage, whereas if you talk about ephemeral storage, every Lambda function has its own ephemeral storage which lives during the life cycle of Lambda. But EFS is a persistent storage, it stays there. Now the question arises, when to use what? So simple answer, if the total volume of your data that's flowing through a Lambda functions or processing through Lambda function is less than 10 gigabytes, then use Lambda as ephemeral storage, because this is fast, this is directly accessible, you do not need any third-party client or libraries to access this. And each Lambda function has its own storage. So even if a single Lambda function is executing 1,000 times, there'll be 1,000 instances of ephemeral storage attached with each Lambda function. Coming to S3, so if your workloads or data processing is greater than 10 gigabytes and the latency is not really your concern, because if you want to access the data from S3, you have to bear some delay because there will be some latency issues. You are accessing files over APIs, S3 client, so expect latency in this. But if latency is not a case, S3 is an unlimited storage option for you, and you can access it from Lambda function with ease. Now EFS. Now EFS, why EFS is most popular kind of storage? Because first, this is persistent. Second, uh, unlike S3, it can attach to Lambda functions directly. So S3 cannot be attached to Lambda functions, but EFS can. So EFS can be added as a mount point to Lambda function. So it offers low latency, unlimited storage sizes, and greater bandwidth. So you can attach it with Lambda functions. And the good thing is multiple Lambda functions can share a single EFS. So if you want to access a file, one file from like in multiple Lambda functions, then EFS is a way to go, because this is fast. You do not, again, you do not need any third-party APIs or clients to access it. Just attaches with the Lambda function as an underlying layer, and you can access your files. So what's next? So in next video, we'll be creating EFS storage, then we'll be updating security groups. I'll explain why do we have to update the security groups. We'll be attaching that EFS to Lambda functions. We'll drop a file to EFS by attaching it to EC2 as well. So you will get a flavor of everything. And then finally, we'll be accessing that storage EFS from Lambda function just to check whether our files, we are able to access our files or not. So stay tuned, see you next.